So good afternoon. I'm going to present you and give you some information about UCI in general, and then talk about sustainability and recycling of composite in Europe. So UCI is a Brussels-based industry, and we are located in Brussels since 1960. Our mission is really to represent members' interests at a European level and to maintain a balanced business environment for the composite industry. We have about 10,000 companies involved in composite production and about 150,000 employees. So mostly SMEs, knowing that an average company size, it's about 10 to 15 persons. UCI is based on 3 different pillars. So it's we know, we show, and we grow. So about advocacy and consultation, education and best practice. So we want to educate the internal world and the external world. By internal, we mean our members and clients, and external, we mean OEMs, designers, engineers, and things like that. We also want to provide professional growth platform. That's why we participate in many different shows like Kompozit Europe that took place in September a few weeks ago. We will participate also in Hannover Messe in April. And we organized also a conference about sustainability in Brussels in September. So you have also some example about what we are doing. We have European consultancy and legal advice. So we are not a law firm, but we can provide some legal advice. We also support European project funding. So we had NATEX, Biostract, Excalibur also. And we have marketing and communication. So we're gonna give some press release, newsletter, flash news, and other marketing tools. So we have 10 national composite associations representing about 12,000 to 15,000 companies, with 3 European sectorial organizations, which are representing or a technology or a material. So we have the SMC, BMC producers, the resin producers, and glass fiber Europe. We work with business partners and stakeholders, and also media agencies. So with the media, we have like Reinforced Plastics, Euractiv, Composites World, and others. We work also with sponsoring companies like Excel Composite, Airtech, Reichhold. So we are really, UCI is really committed to sustainability. So we are really focusing on sustainability. And that's why we took the last year several initiatives, like, for example, Kompozit Plus, which is a working group with an established plan from 2015 to 2020. So to give you some example of these working groups, so we try to have the commitment of our members about different topics. So like, for example, how to reduce CO2 emissions, how to measure CO2 emissions also, and other topics like water, energy, and others. We also organized, as I said before, the second sustainability conference of the European Alliance for SMC BMC, and it was about the opportunities and challenges of sustainability in our industry. So as you see, environment, society, and continued business grow. We call this the 3P concept. So it's people, planet, and profit. It's really something, and all those 3 parameters are really linked together. So industry initiatives and sustainability. So composite industry provides solutions for reducing carbon emission in mobility, renewable energy, eco-friendly construction, and sound waste management practices. So if we talk about LCA, so life cycle assessment, we also, because LCA are really a key tool, to have indicators and parameters to calculate and evaluate the eco-footprint of our products. So the composite material fit really the sustainability concept because thanks to reduced emission through lower weight in transportation, easier installation, and reduced maintenance in construction, they contribute to decrease the negative impact on the environment. So LCA is really a key tool to measure and to take into consideration the full life cycle of the product. You have here an LCA made by the European Alliance for SMC, BMC, which shows that composites are sustainable light materials. So here is the figures for a stationary application with more than 30 years lifetime warranty, comparing it with steel and aluminum. And you see on the graph that SMC score are really good when it comes to global warming potential, so GWP, compared to steel and aluminum. On this graph, it shows many and various parameters from primary energy use, resource, and water, and others. So as you can see, SMC, BMC score high when it's compared to steel and aluminum. And what we need to learn from such an LCA is that LCA have been designed to optimize production and use, and that's what we are planned to do. So here you have some example of LCA on a European level from our members. So in 2013, there is the AVK project. My colleague Elmar Witten will maybe talk about that later on. So it's to collect data with 3 major resin suppliers on the ecological impact of the production. And the next step of it will be the consolidation with Glass Fiber Europe data and the development of an LCA tool, so together with AVK, Glass Fiber Europe, and Plastics Europe. You have other example. One LCA was done by Glass Fiber Europe in 2012. Also, the LCA I've talked a few minutes ago from the European Alliance from SMC, BMC. We also organized a Sustainability Day in the European Commission in 2012, and the conferences I've talked about also in 2012 and 2013 about sustainability. I will talk now a little bit about co-processing, which is a reality today. So here on this graph, and I will talk more in details about co-processing, but what you see in this graph is that when you use 25% of composite regrained, you can obtain a reduction of more than 5% CO2 emission. Of course, the more composite regrind you use, the better you can decrease your impact on the negative impact on the environment. So the source is awesome. Of course, if you talk about transportation of composite regrind, you also need to see what's the impact of transportation. And here on this graph, you see that with an average of 500 kilometers to reach the manufacturer, the cement manufacturer, you have an increase of 1.5% of global warming impact. So it's quite a limited impact. Here. So we have all the directive from the European Commission and also the graph about the waste hierarchy. What you see here is the link between what the industry is doing and what are the expectations of the European Commission. So co-processing, I will develop that later on, but co-processing is really located between recycle and energy recovery. What's the important message is that glass fiber reinforced thermosets are recyclable and compliant with the European legislation. UCIA also published a position paper about that. Recycling has been researched for many years now, and there were 3 different solutions. So, or material recycling, or chemical recycling, or co-processing. And what is exactly co-processing? Is really the use of waste materials in the cement industry as a substitute for fossil fuels and natural resources. So co-processing, as I said before, is really material and energy recycling. So the position of UCIA is really that we consider co-processing and the cement kiln route to be the most sustainable solution for waste management for glass fiber reinforced thermoset parts. So co-processing is really composite parts that are being collected from different sources. It can be wind or pultrusion or many others. And then it's converted into regrind. Then it's mixed with other raw materials. Zions and Holcim are doing that in Germany. Of course, not all cement manufacturers can do that, but there are already a solution, and it's done already, and it's valuable. So, and last but not least, we got European recognition about the fact that composites, that co-processing is valuable and it can be done. So I know you can all read, but I will read it with you because it's quite important. So in certain production processes, such as co-processing, waste can be used in an operation combining two waste management recovery options at the same time. So that's what I said, recycling and energy recovery. So the energy content of the waste is recovered as thermal energy, so it's substituting fuels, and then while the mineral fraction of the waste can be integrated, so it's recycled in the matrix of the product or material product, for example, cement, clinker, steel, and aluminium. Not working anymore. Okay. Also about industry and European activities in 2013. Of course, all companies have their own stories about LCA, sustainability, recycling, and others. So the big deal and big challenge of the European Commission is really to get an harmonization of all LCA parameters and also about the European legislation. On industry level, and what UCIA did, so it's the UCIA position paper about the fact that glass fiber thermoset parts are recyclable and compliant with the European law. And we also released some documentation on sustainability and LCA. If you are interested in co-processing and the cement kiln route, we have also a brochure about that, which explains that really clearly. We initiate Kompozit Plus, so the working group about sustainability. And we did also the conferences about sustainability and the big challenges in our industry. So what is the main important message? As if you understood, it's really to know that composites are recyclable and that they are compliant with the European law. So solutions are existing and it's done and it's valuable. So I thank you for your attention and I wish you a good day.